This is Tim Albright with AVNation at InfoComm 2017, talking with Reto from Barix. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, doing really well. Last day of the show has been a really good show.
It has been a good show?
It has been a really good show, yes. We're very happy with it, yeah.
Why do you guys come to InfoComm? Why do you show here?
Well, we make audio over IP solutions. We make boxes to transport audio over IP, and we typically solve problems of system integrators in the AV space. And this show seems to be the show where they also like to go, and we find them, yeah. That
makes sense. So you make product, and I will be very honest, I had never heard or knew what you guys did. This is a slick, this is a slick piece. Explain to people kind of what I'm holding in my hand, but it's a small little, it's not even a half rack piece, and we can put audio in here and send it over the network, either between buildings or across the country, honestly across the world since it's on the network, on the internet, and get a receiver on the other end and transport it that way.
And get audio out, yes. So the application of these boxes is really everything, from a theater that has a theater stage and they need the audio down in the change room, and Ethernet is there, so they plug it in the network, microphone in here, and the loudspeaker on the other hand. These boxes, we make them also with built-in amplifiers, so you can directly connect the loudspeaker. Two people that use this to distribute audio across the nation. One of our big markets, it's not the show for it, but one of our big markets, for example, background music in retail. Yeah. So people play music content to thousands of retail outlets across the nation.
From one location?
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me a little bit how it works. So are we talking about a couple IP addresses here? So this is a network device, obviously.
Yeah, it's an encoder. We call it an encoder because it encodes.
With an IP address. Right?
Yeah.
And then so the receivers, how does it know to look for this?
Right. Each device has a web interface. So when you plug it, you open the computer, you give the IP address. You've seen this nice device. It doesn't actually have a display. We have a patented, we call it Sonic IP technology. You plug this in, it announces the IP address on the loudspeaker or the headset. So then you type that in, you can configure this device what to do. Now there's, it's usually RTP streaming, one of the technologies to move packets across Ethernet, and on the receiver side you would say on what stream it should be looking for, either by an IP address if you have a fixed IP address, or by a URL. There's different ways to set that up.
MAC address, I'm assuming?
Not for the, we're really, it's open standard IP, so we're looking at IP addresses and IP ports. That's what you configure it to do. And what's nice about these things, we call them audio Lego blocks, because basically there's different firmware. I can make this thing from a standard receiver to be a SIP telephone-based client. So now, instead of having a stream going to it, I can take a telephone dial, and then here's my loudspeaker, and I have a loudspeaker with a telephone number, just to give you an example. So these little devices, the beauty about them, they never die. You just drop and forget these things and they work. So we have over 300,000 of these out there in the market already.
What is the price points for these?
What is a few $100s? I mean, a receiver is like $195, and an encoder is somewhat below $400. So it's very cost effective.
All right, Reto, I appreciate it. If people want to find out more about you or Barix, how do they do that?
They go to barix.com, or they contact our master distributor in the US, which is LineQ.
LineQ,
LineQ.com, and learn more there and write us. We have a large technical support staff that help people translate their requirements into how we can address them with our boxes.
That's a very slick product. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it. If you want to find out more about us, you can find us at AVNation.tv.